I know. So there were a couple of things that I want to talk about. Everything about Okoye getting kicked out of the Dora Milaje
I
was.
had no problem with that. We can start right there.
I mean, I was okay with it because Angela Bassett just acted that scene really, really, really well. So
Yeah,
it made me more okay with it. But I was
yeah.
also just like, you ain't have to do that, yo.
Yes, she did.
She was like one of
No,
my
she did.
favorite
No, she
characters.
did. Because Okoye is effed up. She's
She
effed up a
did.
couple times.
She did. She was
I'm just saying,
very.
as the general of the Dora Milaje. Now, again, this is one of those things of dumbing stuff down for the sake of the plot. Ain't no way outside of this movie, the general of the Dora Milaje would say, "It's all good. I will take the princess across to another country, and it'll only be me. It'll only be me to protect her."
No,
Ain't
but
no way.
hold on. The Dora Milaje have constantly acted in single or in pairs, protecting their monarchs. If you remember in Civil War, Chadwick with that moment with Black Widow, there was only one Dora Milaje with him when he was walking around with meeting Martin Freeman in Black Panther 1 and they were doing the interrogation scene. It was just Okoye with him. So it's not out of the ordinary for one
With
Dora
the Black
Milaje.
Panther, the person who's capable of protecting themselves.
It's not out of the ordinary for one Dora Milaje to be protecting their monarch, is what I mean.
I
Right? I don't even remember them around King T'Chaka when he died. I don't remember any of them there.
I mean, there were two of them in the very beginning of Black Panther when he was there in the early part. Remember
I
when he
mean,
was like,
Civil War. Remember Civil War? Like King T'Chaka, like when he
"Oh, they
died,
were
like
there. You just couldn't see them." You
yeah.
know how they get. You know how they
That
get
is
down.
how they get down. They just be
But it
right
was kind
there.
of funny how they just like weren't once again plot device for the death. You don't need Dora Milaje around. Who cares?
All of
We
a
only
sudden,
needed T'Chaka there to die for T'Challa. That's all. You
all
remember
of a sudden.
T'Chaka's funeral? How was that? Did you enjoy it? Did you feel something with T'Chaka's funeral? Wait, they did a funeral, right?
Come
Because
on, man.
he was a king, and we see how they treat the kings and the queens when they die. So about T'Chaka, okay.
I'm gonna try to remember if they had a funeral.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try.
I don't know if we have enough time for that, but go ahead.
All right.
Hmm.
um, I don't know. It just
Okoye messed up, and she needed a Disney Plus series. That's what happened.
I hope the Disney Plus series really goes into the Midnight Angels more than Okoye.
I bet you it doesn't. I got a feeling it's just not. I don't think it's gonna be what you think it's gonna be from the comics. We are so far gone.
No,
From where the comics
actually,
are.
we're not that far gone from the comics. I was thinking back,
I'm
and I could be wrong.
I'm
Somebody
talking
will
about.
correct me.
I'm just saying we're so far gone from like where the older comics are, like the Hunlin run, the Priest run. We're so far
No.
gone
Yeah,
from
but
that.
Marvel never really cared.
I
They only
know.
borrow little bits and pieces. They
I
really
know.
borrow more from Jonathan Hickman. He's like their bread
It,
and butter when it comes to the
if that,
MCU.
I think they're about to start leaning closer into Ridley.
This whole flooding of Wakanda is all Jonathan Hickman.
It is, yes.
So I mean,
But I think
and
those
if I
days are
remember
over.
correctly, Shuri was the monarch at the time when that happened, not T'Challa.
Right, right. I believe so. Wait, are you
And
talking about when the Phoenix?
yeah, when he flooded it with the Phoenix, and I'm pretty
Right,
sure
right,
he
right.
was like
Because
king of the
she was
dead, and he
pissed
was
at
just
him.
outside of Wakanda doing stuff with
Yeah,
the Illuminati.
because she was pissed at T'Challa for being buddy buddy with Namor again.
Yep.
And T'Challa was like, "Don't worry, it's all good. I remember." Like, Wakanda never forgets.
He's like, as soon
Like,
as
we
this
finna
is
set
over,
this mofo up.
on site. Um, I don't know. I really enjoyed Angela Bassett for making up her acting. Distracted me from a lot of the weak writing. They did so many things
Facts.
that I didn't expect. Like it's like little things too. Like even coming down to like her multiple hairstyles. Like at one moment she had these long, white, beautiful dreads. Another moment she's got a little short fro and she's distraught. I'm like, are you trying to show black girl magic? Like, all right, black girls, we have weaves. This is us, or is this her cutting her hair as a symbolism of being depressed? Either way, it's those little things that they did with Angela Bassett's character that made those moments of me that I didn't like palatable, right? I could sit there and be like, all right, Angela, for you, I'm gonna keep rocking.
I don't comment on black women's hair. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Their crowns.
I just know that her performance was fantastic.
Yep.
She gave me goosebumps every single time. I am still mad about the fact that she had to be used for a plot device of death to motivate Shuri. I thought that was unnecessary.
They didn't have to.
Even though maybe Angela just was done and she was like, "I'm out." Maybe, but either way,
I mean, she had to learn how to swim for this. She might have been like, "Oh, that's where I draw the line, Marvel."
Maybe, but like, look, I'll just say this: she needs a nomination at the very least.
You think so for this?
She better get at least a nomination, or else I'm gonna be very mad.
I'm almost there. I mean, you talk like I also saw Till, right? So like I understand seeing black women grief in film.
Wasn't she a lead in Till?
Was she? No.
Are you talking about the mom?
Yeah.
That was a lead. I'm saying Angela should get best supporting actress.
I understand, but I'm just saying, like, I understand how, like, seeing black women grief for the mourning of their family members can have such an emotional reaction. I don't know if this is going to also evoke, like, best supporting actress. Like, there's not a lot of range in showing grief. You got to have. Well, let me backtrack.
I mean, it's
on
a
that.
supporting
There's a lot
role.
of range in that,
but it's a supporting role, though. Like, by definition, it's not going to give you a lot. But the thing is, did you support the film? Did you do what you needed to do in the limited capacity? And I think she
was the Targaryen of this. She put the whole joint on her back.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's a supporting. She did her job. She did her job. She should be nominated. I'm not saying she should win.
I'm gonna sit on that because it's like it's not a movie that I would. It's not a role where I would normally look for that type of nomination. So I'm gonna sit on that. I ain't gonna say no, but it's not an immediate yes.
It's an auto yes for me. She needs to be nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Well, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I could talk about somebody who probably did the least support, which was, unfortunately, as much as I love her, Lupita.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is sad because next to Angela Bassett, she's probably the best actress on the entire film.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Like, it's I wish in another parallel universe, right? And this is not a knock against Letitia, but in another parallel universe, I kind of wish Lupita was Shuri, and
I almost thought she was going to become Black Panther.
Either one. But I'm just saying, like, if you want somebody to lead a movie, and if it's not Angela Bassett, it's Lupita that you looking at to take that and run with it. So
they did her character. Yeah. They didn't do her character a huge justice in this movie. I thought her scenes were. Now, let me say this: everything she did was fun to watch. It was really, really fun to watch her infiltrate Talokan and get back Shuri and bring them back up. Everything was really, really fun to watch. It just felt a little disruptive because she hadn't been established in the initial act of the film. So it's like, all right, we're going to bring in Lupita to go and, Rambo this stuff or Solid Snake this stuff, and then she's going to disappear back in the background. It was basically a Lupita movie for like 20 minutes.
If that. I'd say like 10 to 15.
And it was weird to me that the queen went to her. Now, I understand that she's a talented spy, but we're talking about in Wakanda, a nation where she's got like soldiers dripping from the ceilings when you walk into the throne room and spies all over the world. This is the one that you're like, all right, I have to seek her out. I have to go to Haiti.
You have to think about what happened right before that, right? So Okoye's banished.
Okoye banished, yeah, right? but that wasn't her biggest spy.
What did she say to Okoye? What you guys sided with Killmonger, with Killmonger, and I had to go to the mountains and blah blah blah. Who was with her? It was Nakia.
That makes sense.
Nakia, That, and I don't know if they got married or whatever, but the daughter-in-law, if they got married, I don't know. But that was T'Challa's boo thing. And supposedly she knew about the kid or whatever. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
So like she has a closer bond with Nakia, even outside of the professional spy realm and stuff like that. There is a bigger bond there. So it didn't surprise me that, she went to her.
It just felt disruptive. It just felt like it was just out of nowhere to all of a sudden now introduce Nakia. And it was interesting that they tried to make up for it by saying, you weren't at T'Challa's funeral. Where were you? And like she's like, oh.
Well, I mean, I think again, this is a byproduct of the script trying to do too much. Like, I have I need people to tune in to my interview with Nate Moore. Go watch part 1, but wait until I think it's November 21st is when we're allowed to post the spoiler interviews. I will post the second half of my interview, or check out the movie blog. We'll post it on there as well. Where I talked to Nate Moore, and he told me more information about the original script and what was supposed to be the intention. So when you hear about what would have happened and how that was going to happen, all these different things that you're raising right now, you can get the sense that these were the alterations post Chadwick's passing, because they were like, okay, because we couldn't do this originally with Nakia's character, it feels like we have to change it and alter it this way. And I think you see a lot of that happen throughout the movie, which gives it that feeling of being scattered all over the place because they had to make adjustments because their main character is gone, so let's throw this in here. Hey, you know what? To fill in this gap, let's tell this person's story and let's tease this up. And it's literally like, yo, let's throw everything, including the kitchen sink, and let's just see what sticks.
I get it.
I just think it's a victim of circumstance.
I mean,
that's all. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it worked. I'm not saying it failed. I'm just saying I think this is all they could do because of the corner that they painted themselves in. And I say that respectfully because by their acknowledgement, Nate Moore, Ryan Coogler, Lupita, all of them, they couldn't imagine having someone else be in the role. They couldn't imagine telling any other way for this story. So because they limited themselves in the scope of perspective of this story, they had to little wiggle room, and they just did what they could with that.
I want to bring some balance to this conversation because I don't want to just have a whole conversation where we're talking about the things that kind of didn't work, because there's a lot that worked in this movie, like a lot. Me personally, I love Namor or Namor, whatever you want to pronounce it now. I love him. I struggle to find any criticism with this dude. I know some people find a little something here and there. It don't rock with me. Everything they did, I thought was really, really cool. I thought the way that they reinvented the character from his comics origin, he even had me go back and look at the comics and see. It was like, yo, does this dude even look Mexican? Like, what? And then I'm like, oh snap, he kind of does. Everything they did with him, everything how they borrowed his original costume, they had him walking around in just his swim trunks with the little wings on his feet. Everything about it, I love. Yes, he's exactly like Killmonger in some motivations, but in reality, even in the comics, they were more alike than they're not. The only difference between Killmonger and Namor in the comics was Namor was already a king, right? He's just like, what would Wakanda have looked like had Namor had Killmonger run it from the beginning, right? Would he have kept it in secret, or things like that? I really, really appreciate everything they did, from reinventing it with Talokan, introducing all the Mesoamerican culture, everything about the history of his people and the colonizers enslaving them, and then his reaction to that, off with their heads, which is very, very much in tune with what happened in reality, right? Back in I think it was the 17th century when settlers had arrived and the natives were trying to fight back. They fought back pretty brutally. Like, they were ruthless. They were putting skulls on deck. I loved how Namor, even as a child, was ruthlessly viciously protecting Talokan and his people. Everything about his character I thought was done tastefully, and I think we'll get a lot of fans with the representation that they have there for Central America.
Oh yeah, no, I'm happy for Central Americans as well, Latin, whoever, Hispanic. If you resonated, period, with the Mayan culture aspect, like, I'm happy for them, because I feel like a lot of people are gonna get that taste of how we felt as Black folks when Black Panther debuted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always down for like people feeling represented in a positive way with these films. I think that is one of the most beautiful, intangible things these films can do for us. And I definitely think it was successful with Namor. But I would say that like I had no issue. Like, I loved Namor's introduction.
Yeah.
My man came in, was like, I'm the heavy hitter, right? Oh, you thought you was finna leave, but bring that butt over here, bring that back. Let me run it over. Nah, man, y'all ain't going nowhere. So, I love my man doing the mid-air parkour with the Air Wing 11s. That was dope. Like, he was a problem. He told them, "You come to my city, I'm gonna F y'all up." Okay.
You will die.
And he did that.
I will kill you.
He did that. So he's a man of his word. Yeah. So yeah, no, I loved it. I still think the writing could have been better for him. Like, I didn't like his motivation of, I gotta kill the scientists. It's the scientists. If I kill the scientists,
listen.
First of all, if you were so ready to kill the scientists, if all of Talokan's existence really depended on the fate of the scientists, she was right there. You could have just killed her and been like, Wakanda, what you gonna do? Step. What's up? He already told Wakanda, like, y'all not gonna step to us anyway. Y'all can't handle us. So again, the writing didn't do him good favors there. But outside of that, my man is a threat. My man was a formidable antagonist. He wasn't a villain. He was a formidable antagonist. And by the way, and the cinematography, my goodness, the visual effects of Talokan, my gosh, that was amazing. I loved it, including the score. By the way, I don't remember
the music
song, but like when it was like ha 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 ha. I was like, y'all, okay. I don't know what this is. I don't know the language, but this is bumping. Like, okay, so like, I love that. I love that. Man, I love their little custom Hadouken.
Yeah,
like
this is
everything.
Their new
like
sign. This is that for them,
bro. Every time Hadouken,
it's not Hadouken no more. They done took it. It's theirs now.
I couldn't take it out, but now it's Hadouken. It's theirs. But no, like, that to me was great. I mean, I'm looking forward to more Namor. Right, I'm looking forward to more of him later. Now, I don't know if he can have a movie.
No, hold on.
Or
it's simple. Bring him back. Fantastic Four. That's easy. That's an easy one right there.
You trying to get Sue Richards messed up?
Yes.
Leave her alone.
Yes.
Better leave her alone.
Oh man, yo.
Sue Richards and Namor.
You already know how dude get down. He's like your husband.
Yo, right.
That lame.
You're like, yo, read who?
Read who? He's lame. Chill. No, that's an easy one. Fantastic Four. Either make him a villain or make him like a villain turned ally toward a bigger threat, like maybe Victor Von Doom. I could totally see that. Maybe, yeah. I don't know what Marvel's going to be doing with this character, but
I think right now the clearest thing is you see Atuma. They might do an Atuma revolt type of thing because he was his antagonist in the comics.
He was. I don't know if I'm ready for like a Namor movie. Maybe like a special or I couldn't even say a
that
series.
Would be better. I think that would be a lot better. Like, because, and this is not a knock against Tenoch Huerta, but I don't think Namor or Tenoch Spell's blockbuster movie.
That, and I
And
can't
at the
think of a
same
villain
time-
for him
Huh?
besides Atuma. Like he doesn't have a deep villain roster.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, and that's why, like, I don't even know if Plus series would be enough to, or I don't think that would be an adequate place to tell his story either. I do agree with you. I think a 60-minute special, kind of
Yeah.
like what they did with Werewolf by Night,
Yep.
that would be great. And I think the benefit you would have there would be Namor, and this is kind of like parallel to what happens with T'Challa in the comics, have Namor versus his people and have the politics, the inner politics. The fact that they showed Namora come in and was like, I followed you because you was a G. You was a
Yeah.
rider. And now you out here submitting to these Wakandans? What's up? Man, that little seed of discord right there, that is something that can have huge ripple effects. We don't know how the rest of the Talakans, feel about Namor. They look at him as a god, So like now that he's like a god taking a knee to somebody else, what does that mean? What does that mean for their faith? What does that mean for their politics? What does that mean for the leadership? That's something that could be explored again in a 50, 60-minute special.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to sit well with them, and I do see them forming a mutiny and trying to overthrow him.
I can see that.
It's going to be tough because my man is a mutant and he's as strong as the Hulk, and he was like,
but he also cares about his people. Like, is he really going to tear up his own land, his people? Like, these are
maybe. I mean, Black Panther
people.
did it. He went straight up against them Wakandans. It's like,
I don't know. I feel like he's also a man of integrity and honor.
T'Challa.
He was. T'Challa wasn't turning on his own people though.
When in Black Panther 1, when Killmonger sat here and had W'Kabi and them stepping to him, he handled business.
I mean, he tapped them.
Okay. I mean, he had a whole army to fight. I mean, a lot of them, let's say that they weren't in the sequel, right? Let me be mindful of how YouTube likes to demonetize stuff.
Right.
Either way, I totally think that we need to see more and more. I think he should have little moments where he pops up throughout the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they handled his character really, really well. Another thing that I want to mention as a positive for Wakanda Forever, especially because I've said this before, I was about done with the MCU, right? Like I was like, I guess my time is done here. Like everything, this is no longer. I'm no longer enjoying myself. I love that they scaled back the humor so much, right? This is a big shift from even Moon Knight and Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, where they just amped the humor to like Seinfeld and Friends levels, where it was like a joke every 2 minutes. I loved how they balanced this movie out with just dramatic acting with little light sprinkles of humor. It was a long, long movie. Like, what would you say? It was like 2 hours?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
I'm glad that they balanced it out. They handled their writing. It has me on the brink to, give Marvel one more movie after this before I completely write it off. And unfortunately, Guardians of the Galaxy is the next one, so we'll see how that goes.
I thought it was you talking about the special?
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Is that considered Phase 5? It's the first film?
I don't know, and I don't care. I mean, I really don't. Like, we've got to go get Kevin Bacon for, Christmas. Like, whatever.
I'm sure there's a bigger plot in there. You know how
I'm sure I'm not
James
gonna care.
Gunn
I'm not gonna care.
Is as a writer and director.
Not gonna care. It's on Disney Plus. How big of a plot is it gonna be? I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. I think that this movie did a lot to restore my faith. I'm going to give it another shot for Ant-Man. I guess that's the next one with Jonathan Majors Kang. I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to see how this works out. But Wakanda Forever, I think, did a lot with that writing, it in that aspect at least, to keep me entertained, keep me involved, keep me going for the next one. Because again, I was on the brink. I was ready to walk away.
I get you. All right.
I don't know how I feel about. I don't know. I still think about Riri a little bit. She was like a tacked on character.
She
It
was
felt
there.
like.
Yeah, she has a Disney Plus show they got to set up.
They did the same thing with America Chavez, and she don't have a Disney Plus show, but this one just.
But she was more integral to the plot, at least for Chavez. I mean, the whole point was getting her power. That was the whole point of the movie.
I understand.
There was no time where you take America Chavez out of the movie that it would have worked. But there were a couple times where Riri was not there or not needed
once the fight
or could have been replaced.
Once the beef was set between Wakanda and Talokan, I forgot about Riri. It was just like
at that point, here's the thing. The moment they came and killed the queen.
Yeah.
Right? They could have been like, Riri, go home. Like, it's cool. Go home. Because it's about to go down and we don't want you to be in the middle of this. You could go home. And actually, I think it would have all been here's the thing. I actually love Riri and Shuri collaborating.
To a degree.
I've been saying for a long time, I've been looking forward to that. So that was really cool. But the way this was written, the way they kind of sort of made Riri just kind of like there and not essential. I mean, you could have done a lot of stuff and just said Shuri figured it out. And we would have rolled with it. If Shuri was the one that figured out we got to dry out Namor and stuff, we would have been like, yeah, because Shuri's like one of the smartest people in the world.
Shuri was
like,
not that smart in this movie.
We get that. I give her a pass on that only because she was emotional and she was grieving. And I don't care who you are, emotion is going to affect your logical thinking, as this movie kind of proves.
Well, thankfully they had Riri there to be the next genius. And what is she? The third or fourth genius the MCU has introduced recently?
I guess.
Thankfully she was there to help smooth things out and make things make sense. There's a few things. So how come her Iron Man armor had the same interface as Tony Stark's?
Because fandom.
And so did the Midnight Angels.
Why is she using a hammer and she in Wakanda? Because you got to mimic Tony Stark. Listen, I'm not even that hard on Riri just because she's a supporting character. Like this is our first time meeting her.
Why does she's have an LA accent? Time. She sound like she from Compton.
She think that's how Chicago talk.
Is that from they sound like they from Compton in Chicago?
No, but she sounded more like upper northwest side.
Oh, all right, my bad. I thought, okay, all right. Oh, excuse me. I thought
she sounded like she went to a suburb. She was the only black girl there, and she had to keep it real.
She sounded like Ice Cube from Friday, but. But it worked, I guess. I don't know. I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't even catch that she was from Chicago. I thought she was from Boston.
Oh, yeah. Man, she had the Chicago Bulls in there, the Chicago flag. They was like, Chicago, Chicago, Chicago.
Stand up.
First of all, let me just say, ain't nobody from Chicago finna go to MIT and bring a Chicago flag.
I didn't know y'all had flags.
Bro, that's what I'm talking about. We're not carrying flags like that. Now, Bulls, sure. Yeah, okay. You could rock that. You could rock the football, the baseball, basketball. You ain't carrying no damn Chicago flag in your dorm room like you proud of that. Stop it. You got a New York flag in your house? I don't even know what the New York flag looks like.
Maybe there's an apple on it. I don't know. I don't know.
Just imagine if they put a Brooklyn flag.
Oh, I'm sure it's
in Peter Parker's room.
It would have Big E on it.
He from Queens?
He's from Queens, though. Peter Parker's from Queens.
Yeah. All right. Is there a Queen's
Mm.
flag? Imagine that in this background. All right. We get it.
Anyway, yeah, this movie.
Well, look, you gotta get to the main part, which is the post-credit scene. You might as well get to that.
Fine. So we talked about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough one because they faked this out a little bit. They're like, oh, she went there. She went back to Haiti. M'Baku showed up for Challenge Day. He's gonna be king. They like doing those fake outs. Like Wong is Sorcerer Supreme. M'Baku's gonna be king of Wakanda. That whole scene with T'Challa Jr., I guess we'll call him.
Yeah.
It's so I already know, right? I'm gonna have a bunch of friends. Like some of my friends are texting me right now. I'm gonna have a bunch of friends who are gonna be like, "Oh, that was great! Aren't you happy? Look, they're gonna have another T'Challa." And then it's like, on the flip side, it's like we also have to promote the image of absentee fathers. We also have to promote the image of displacement of the story. It works, but it doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth. It's like
Not to mention, because there are more cons than people think. This is how you end T'Challa's story, Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa. You leave him as someone who's been dead longer than he's actually been king. Here's the other thing. One could make the argument that his legacy is not only incomplete but kind of tarnished. I'm not talking about Chadwick. I'm talking about T'Challa.
Yeah, I know
that his legacy is tarnished because he's the one that opened up Wakanda. We don't even know how Wakandans feel about it. In the comics, we know that him opening up Wakanda was a problem because the tribes was like, we didn't tell you to do that. What were you doing? Because now that you did that, Doom is coming for us. People are attacking us like every other week.
I'm sure that's going to be Black Panther
trying
3.
To come and get our vibranium.
That is a great plot for Black Panther 3 with them. And I was saying the Midnight Angels.
It would be, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's the thing. Like, we're never going to see T'Challa deal with that.
No.
Because that was it was kind of like, yeah, this is a great move for being progressive, but traditionally, conservatively, it was a problem. The movie literally starts off that way. The fact that people have been attacking them and been going to their outreach programs so they can steal vibranium. Yeah. That's all of T'Challa's decisions. So again, it's kind of like, this is what y'all leaving him with? It's almost as bad as the legacy that they left for T'Chaka. Because T'Chaka right now, it's like, yo, you're the reason Killmonger came and did this to us. You went and killed your own brother, and you left the kid over there. That's the legacy you left. So is it really that great of a tribute?
Like they wrote themselves into.
I'm talking about within the story now. Don't come in here talking about you trashing Chadwick. I ain't talking about Chadwick. I'm talking about what they chose to do with the story and character of T'Challa
they
Senior.
Kept putting dirt over his grave. That was it, right? Let's just keep burying him. Right? We could do anything we want to him now. He's not coming back. Oh, we'll just make everybody unhappy with him. We're going to give him a kid. His story, it is what it is.
I got the feeling that they're not even going to put it on him because they don't want to tarnish. They don't want to be negative. But I'm just saying, like, if we're looking at the story you gave us, Wakanda's been attacked. Wakanda has been, infiltrated because of T'Challa. Even Namor blames T'Challa. Even Namor. Namor was like, your boy went out there and opened up. Why did he tell them about you? What did he do that
now
for?
They're looking for vibranium.
Why did he do that? Did he not know how they were going to be?
To be fair,
Namor blamed T'Challa.
Claw did it first.
Listen. Claw did it, but like Claw was an isolated
Claw was
thing.
selling it out in the market, telling people like, yo, these people are not what they make you think they are.
But nobody believes him. Nobody believes him. Even the CIA didn't believe him. They was like, what are you talking about? Shut up.
So it's like, where do we go from here with T'Challa Jr. though?
That is the number one question. That is where I'm in wait and see mode.
I remember texting you immediately after I saw the movie, and I said, "Yo, they need to age this kid up ASAP, like immediately.
Like that.
Find out some magic thing, some Infinity Stone, whatever you need to do."
Kang is right around the corner. Kang is right around the corner. There's gonna be some time travel shenanigans. There's gonna be
raise
some
him in the
multiverse
future,
stuff
bring
happening.
him back as an adult Black Panther.
Whatever. That's fine by me. Look, bring him back and have him tag team with Shuri. I'll be happy. I'll be fine.
I do not want to see him join the Young Avengers as a little mini Black Panther.
I agree. At this point, he's too young for that.
Just give it a little bit of time.
I mean, the other kids are teenagers.
Look at what they're doing with the Wanda's kids, right? And Coven of.
They can grow themselves up though. They literally control themselves. Like Magic. They can do that. They already recast. I think they already recast one of them.
Yeah, they already got like a new Billy.
So, but look, this is what I'm saying. Don't make the Junior a symbolic gesture. Don't make him something like, "Hey, y'all, we got T'Challa over here. It's all good," and then leave him alone.
They're gonna do. Here's my guess. I keep saying we know what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna just introduce a little girl named Storm.
I'd be fine with
T'Challa
that.
Jr. We're gonna have them
be
kids and do magical.
Just let them frolic, go be friends. Yeah, that's fine.
But
I got a feeling they ain't gonna do that. I got a feeling they're gonna be like, "Nah, Storm's coming, but she gonna be an adult. She gonna be this." I just listen. But here's the thing: it's time travel and multiverses. Anything is possible.
They didn't do that.
Anything. Because for one,
did that,
we have not only Secret Wars, we have Secret Wars, and we don't know what that really even means.
Yeah.
And for two, before Secret Wars, we also have Avengers Kang Dynasty. So Kang Dynasty implies Kang won. He's got a dynasty.
I mean, he's been one. He rules this world.
He's conquered, and somebody's gonna have to go back in time and like fix it all. I don't know how else you interpret dynasty.
No, I just paused for a second and I was like, Steve Rogers went back in time.
Sure did.
With all the Infinity Stones and Mjolnir, and came back as an old man with a brand new shield and refused to talk about what he did.
From an alternate universe. He came back from an alternate universe.
And refused to talk about, well, I don't did he? Was it an alternate universe?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was an alternate timeline.
I mean, the way after Loki, it's hard to tell.
Not really. Loki confirms it. Every time you go do something, you create a different branch.
Kind of, but there's also a way to steer it back in. Right? That was the whole point of them going back.
If you go back, if you put stuff, if you go back. So but the fact that he went and literally lived his life.
Did he come through a portal? Or did he just live his life and this was the same reality?
It depends on how you interpret it. Like, if it's a different branch, he could come back, but he would have. I don't know.
I ain't gonna go too crazy.
I think he came back because he took extra tubes.
He did.
You remember, like the little. Yeah, he took extra tubes. So I think he took enough to go do his business. With all the stones or whatever, and he took a couple extra for his extra trip.
We'll see with the Kang Dynasty. I have.
All I need.
I don't have a lot of hope.
All I need them to do with T'Challa Jr., like I said, don't treat him like Judy from Family Matters.
He's going upstairs.
Don't have him going to the Wakanda Palace and never coming back. Okay. I want y'all to treat him the same way you would Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Thor. Give him the energy, give him the investment, do what you would have done with Chadwick's T'Challa, and just give him that same energy. Have him meet up Storm. Teach him how to fight. He better have the best hands in the whole world. He better be super intelligent.
Right,
I don't care if he learns it from Shuri,
he's grown up on Haiti. His mom know how to fight, so hopefully she's teaching him something.
Fine. Whatever. Do all of that. He should have everything. If anything, he should be more comic accurate than Chadwick's, because we knew Chadwick's version was not very comic
close.
accurate. Like some people have complained about that, but now especially because Coogler had said in an interview that like in the comics he was reading, T'Chaka died when T'Challa was young, so he had to be a boy king, and learn like as he was young. And now I'm sitting here thinking like, wait a minute, bro. Are you finna kill Shuri?
Shuri's not queen.
She's not. But what I'm saying is for T'Challa to end up becoming a young boy king, somebody gonna have to die. What's he gonna do? Challenge M'Baku as a kid? Because according to tradition, which by the way, they cheated with Shuri, by the way, you can't have the heart-shaped herb when you're in combat.
No. And Shuri,
which by the way, I didn't like that with Shuri. Like the fact that she came in and had to arm wrestle with M'Baku. Like, first of all, you pumped up with the heart-shaped herb. Like, obviously you're stronger than him.
But was she doing that to like establish herself as leader, or is just be like, listen, I'm the Black Panther?
I think that it was, I think the intention was the latter, but I think they could have done it in another way without being at M'Baku's expense.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to show
took a lot
that
of
you're
L's
stronger than this big, strong black man to prove that you're strong. Because 5 minutes earlier, not even 5, 2 minutes earlier than that, she punched that, wardrobe thing, and everybody was like, oh, you strong. So we didn't need her to like arm wrestle M'Baku to solidify that. You got the suit. You could have just shown your strength some other way. I don't know, break a rock or something, and that would have been fine.
I'm tired of them making this heart-shaped herb and not drinking it all, but whatever.
Everybody with that purple drink.
It's like, yo, can I have some of that? There's more right there.
Listen,
like, why is there only one of us?
That is a huge missed opportunity by Marvel. If I was Marvel, I'd be selling purple Wakanda drink. Like, yo, I don't care if it's like Gatorade. I don't care if it's a grape drink. Like, Marvel is messing up by not selling heart-shaped herb drinks. I need to put that on Twitter. I'm gonna put that out there.
We already,
like, what are y'all doing? Why are y'all not selling?
We know
this?
why. Do
you
you really need me to have this conversation again about how Marvel be doing?
Think athletes drink that up? Athletes would be drinking that on the football field.
We really all the need to have this conversation again about Marvel.
All
right. We already know. When's Black Panther 3 coming out? Probably in 2027, 2028.
This is why when people are like, "Oh, don't worry," in Black Panther 3, that's when the kid when in 2030,
2030 when they do another one, right? It don't matter how
the pace, the pacing of Black Disney Marvel stuff.
Don't. I was walking around. I won't go walking around it.
I won't go there.
Don't go there.
I won't talk about the Phase 4 announcements and how everything got done and produced except for Blade.
All of them, and they got sequels announced too. Loki season 2,
and they got sequels already in the works. And Blade is still working on
Blade is still working on the script.
A script.
And then World of Wakanda. When's that coming?
They said they working on it.
When did they announce it?
A little while ago. But they working on it.
Warner Brothers just ended all of J.J. Abrams' projects for taking more than 2 years. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do we Armor Wars? We saw what happened with that.
I mean, at least that got turned into a movie.
When's it coming out?
Supposedly they haven't started shooting yet, but they should be starting shooting, I think, in early 2023.
Did the Captain America 4 start production?
I don't know. I don't know.
They leapfrog it, or is it just one at a time?
It's supposed to be in the works. I mean, they already announced that the leader was going to be in it. Harrison Ford is going to be in it. Thunderbolt Ross is going to be in it. Recast. Oh, yeah.
Yo, I mean, yeah. Yeah, we'll have Spider-Man 4 and 5, and then we'll get Black Panther 3.
Easily.
Easily.
If you could, let me tell you
still-
something. If they have 2 Spider-Man movies before Black Panther 3, we gonna have a problem. I promise you,
Spider-Man 4 is coming out in 2024. I'm calling it now. The film hasn't even been written yet. One? But I promise you,
Which
Spider-Man
one?
4.
Spider-Man? Listen,
2024.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because they at least have a little bit more time to do that. All I'm saying is when Spider-Man 5 comes out,
2026.
If Black Panther 3 is not out by the time Spider-Man 5 comes out, we have a problem.
When did Black Panther 1 come out?
That means if we go on the
pace
what?
that you're talking about, that's
every 2 years. That means in 4 years, if we have 4 years movie, and we don't have a Black Panther 3,
Spider-Man is like Jay-Z and Black Panther is like Nas. Jay-Z's dropping albums every year.
I don't like that comparison.
He's dropping albums every year, every summer, every 2 years. Nas is one good album every 4-year average.
No. I'd say Spider-Man is more like Drake. Like, not only is he dropping stuff consistently, he on other people's stuff.
Oh yeah,
there was a report talking about he was finna feature in
hold on, Black Panther wasn't Civil
Into
War.
The Spider-Verse.
He was in Infinity War. He was in Endgame.
He's Drake.
No, I'm talking about Black Panther. Drake. Black Panther. He was in the same movies.
I'm talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They treat him like Drake. He's everywhere. And he's dropping his own albums.
I know. Just be patient, okay?
Why you bring this up? Now you got me up.
Patient. What do we I know that I wrote this question and I hope you would ask it. What to Nate Moore when you got a chance to interview him? What do we need to do as Black Marvel fans to help accelerate the release of products starring Black superheroes? Like, so I know one thing we helped Black Panther 1 cross $700 million domestically and was the highest grossing superhero movie of all time domestically for a long time. Mm-hmm. What do we need to do to encourage Marvel to give us more product?
Be vocal. Because that's what he said. Now I would
money's not loud. I thought Money was pretty vocal.
That I had more time to talk to him and be like, how? Do you do you want us to be vocal on social media? Do you want us to be vocal on outlets? And how? Like, how do you listen to us? Do you listen?
I'm pretty sure they listen. They watch the show because they borrow some of our ideas for their movie.
I know they listen to everything. But what I'm saying is I wanted to be able to pin him down and say like, we listen on social media.
We just need another interview.
We listen with the dollars.
We need another interview.
I know. Trust me. Listen, I already asked. But those are the questions I would ask because I'm like, give us something that we can latch on to and be like, oh, do we need another petition? Do we need to vote with our dollars? Do we need to vote with our whatever trends? Like, what does Marvel listen to? And if you say everything, fine, we'll do everything. But at the end of the day, I think the most important thing, especially as Black audiences, what people have to do, if that's what you want to see, you have to be vocal. You have to actually say, listen, I'll say this straight up. Tag them. Don't just sit here and complain. Tag, dear Marvel, at Marvel Studios. Kevin Feige's on Twitter. He don't really use it, but he's on there. But I would go at the public profile, like, at Marvel Studios, at Disney. Talk to them. We give them money.
All right, listen. This is
they're publicly traded companies. These are companies you can buy stock in.
This is a worthy.
And I'm not saying, listen, hold on. And I'm not saying we need to go harass them. No. I'm not saying we need to go attack them or bully them or cyber bully or do whatever other certain movements we're doing. I ain't saying none of that. I'm saying if you love something, tell them. If you don't like something, tell them. Be respectful about it, because we've seen how Disney deals with trolls, She-Hulk, right? But like at the same time, if you really love something, go tell them. You don't think that they saw that beautiful outpour of love for the first Black Panther and they were like, hey, we got to do something special with it. You don't think that?
Yeah,
You know
I'm sure they did, and they were like, "Yeah,
Right.
we're going to do something special in 5 years."
So, but then, and to your point, then that means we need to be more focused with our conversation. Because what you're talking about is not something that's been vocalized collectively.
I mean,
I don't
hear
even
you,
think the average
but I feel like
person
that statement is going to get the same type of reaction from people. Is like when they say, "Yo, I want to see change in our country," and they be like, "Oh, well, you just need to go out and vote." And I'm like, "What?"
See, but that's the thing. Even with the politics aside, voting is just one step.
I understand
you still
that, but
have
I'm just
to
saying,
go
like, it's
follow up.
It's
you
different
still have
with
to keep
entertainment because here's the biggest thing to me: Black Panther made like $1.3 billion.
Yes.
None of the movies since then, besides the Avengers movies, came close.
Yes.
How does money?
Well, No Way Home was close. They made $1 billion.
No Way Home exceeded it. No Way Home took the crown as the highest grossing solo superhero film.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, like, in between that time, nothing came close.
Yeah.
So what else do we need to do besides sitting here and pushing this movie to the one of the top 5 grossing films of all time to encourage them to give us more product?
As someone who has led a campaign that Marvel listened to, I think the number one thing is to address the issue again, respectfully, as fans, but you have to be clear and focused. You have to articulate it in a way
disrespecting
that cannot be. Well, everything can be misconstrued.
Disrespecting my money.
But
I gave them a lot of money because
I'm just
saying
you have to voice the concern in a very clear, concise way, and I think that
it's frustrating because they always told us you talk with your dollars, right? If you don't like something, don't support it.
Who told us
Society, entertainment,
Society.
every
Marvel
movie studio.
Don't work that way. Marvel does not work that way. There has not been one thing that has failed financially in Marvel that they've just stopped. The reason for that is mainly because of the whole cinematic universe thing. Second, they're too big. They're backed up by Disney. I was
gonna say Hulk, but okay.
Well, no, but that was a rights issue. But the other thing is the fact that they
don't care about rights if there's enough money. Look at Spider-Man.
Let's say this. Let's say you voted with your dollars. Let's say you withheld your money from whatever project, and they see the dip. You think they finna sit here and be like, "Oh man, we shouldn't do this" or whatever? No, they're gonna be like, "Man, whatever." That next Avengers movie is gonna make $2 billion and cover that loss. And they'll keep moving on. The movies that have financially made the least amount of money in the MCU have all got sequels.
Right? Yeah.
They keep going. They're too big. It's not like we're talking about Paramount or Lionsgate or some smaller studio in comparison where every dollar actually matters. With Marvel and Disney, they bleed money.
Yeah.
They bleed money.
Understand.
They looked at Avengers Age of Ultron.
Was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Listen, they took Avengers Age of Ultron that made $1.5 billion and said that met below expectations. $1.5 billion would change any other studio completely.
Age of Ultron,
but for them, it was like,
damn,
$1.5
billion.
It was all right.
They didn't do no 1.5,
but it fell under expectations. They were expecting $2 billion with Age of Ultron. That was a failure.
Listen, it got nominated for Best Picture. We gave it a ton of money, and they didn't want to give us more product.
I mean, we didn't nominate it for Best Picture. That's
not we. No, it got nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's not.
We
fans,
gave
though.
it a ton of money.
Yes,
and they sat on it.
Yeah. But the question is, what do you do moving forward? And I think at the end of the day, Marvel wants to not only get it right, but they also want to appear as though that they're getting it right.
When they announce the date for World of Wakanda.
Sure.
That'll be very telling.
I'd love to see that, and I'd love to see what reason it gets delayed. Because they have no problem announcing the stuff.
No, it just feels like they can only work on one black superhero at a time.
Quota.
It feels like that. Right? It's either going to be Sam Wilson, Captain America, or Armor Wars, or Riri, or Black Panther. But we can't one after the other. Anyway, that's really all I had to say about this movie. I love Namor. Riri was cool. Shuri, I really enjoyed her. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. Angela Bassett put the whole thing on her back. The Talokan, the world of Wakanda, the way they expanded things, the way they introduced more characters, tasteful, masterful. I hope this movie makes a ton of money in the box office, just like the film that preceded it. I also hope that Marvel gets the message or hears us when we say we want more black superheroes from Marvel. The way that they're able to multitask and break out and have all these projects working simultaneously, maybe just someone over there go and say, you know what, we need to just have these black superheroes be their own content vertical, and let's see if we can get some of these things out a little bit faster. That's just how I feel. And if
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't really want them to go faster if it means that quality suffers. Because right now, one thing we've also noticed is when Marvel goes faster, stronger, harder, faster, the VFX suffer.
Everything suffers.
The quality suffers. Everything suffers. Here's the thing, especially when we were thinking about phase 1, phase 2, even phase 3, anything pre-Disney Plus, we were really, really in a good place because we had time to watch a movie, be anticipated for the next one, absorb the current one, and all of that stuff because there was so much space in between.
I don't want the quality
but now
to drop.
it's
I
like movie, then Disney Plus show, then another special.
I'm good with one
movie,
a year.
Then another movie.
I'm good with
then,
one a year.
Like, yo,
one a year is cool with me.
No, we have to slow down and actually have time to absorb these things because it's going to be overload for
one
people.
Black superhero.
I don't have a problem waiting for something good. If you're going to tell me you need time to be in the kitchen and cook it up and let it marinate and let it soak and let it do this and whatever, fine. As long as the meal is delicious, I'm fine.
Tell that to
I don't
Mahershala.
need McDonald's.
Tell that to Mahershala.
I don't need McDonald's. Don't give me the junk food.
Tell that to Mahershala.
They got his order wrong. They had to go back and redo it. And listen, I think everybody knows the frustration with that. You ordered your food, they cooked it up, they gave it to you. It was like, what is this? This ain't what I ordered.
Back and start over.
Take it back to the kitchen.
Saying, one Black superhero a year is okay with me, or better yet, once every 2 years, right? You don't think one a year is too aggressive, and they could do as many of the other films as they want. Fine, 1 to 2 years for a Black superhero.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. I guess we're going to have to tune in for another one. If there's any more reaction, any more deep diving after my second viewing into the Black Panther film, I'm sure this is still something we're going to revisit for many, many weeks to come. Many, many weeks to come. Yeah, that's all I have for this one. Was there anything you wanted to add?
That's it.
That's it.
To stay tuned for my interview with Nate Moore. Ooh. It's gonna reveal something very exclusive. Yeah. I hope don't nobody else have this. But he answers a question about the post-credit scene directly, and what could have been. So you don't want to miss that. Go check out the movie blog, because we'll post that there too. And yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Oh, and I got a theory video coming out that you.
Oh yeah, those.
All of y'all probably missed. Y'all all missed the fact that they set up a whole nother hero. Y'all missed it. Go watch that theory video.
I wonder who. Anyway,
Wendy. He went right by y'all.
Anyway, that's it, guys. If you guys like these videos, you want to see more from The Correct Opinion, do me a favor, hit the like. Make sure you subscribe, comment. Maybe we'll do these more often. Otherwise, we'll check you guys later. Peace.